likely see the heavy rain continuing from these training storms from Bernie to Lake Hills, at least for the next hour. As I mentioned, very dangerous situation around the Bernie area, specifically around Cibolo Creek. This is showing some pretty intense rain, at least the upper Cibolo Creek area. We'll check out your forecast for the rest of the day. Talk more rain, more flooding. That is coming up.
A tornado caught on camera here in San Antonio. Details on its path and the new video coming in from witnesses.
New video from Sky 4 as well of the damage left behind. Look at this. Businesses and an apartment complex. The roof ripped off where a bunch of students live that go to UTSA.
The tornado isn't the only danger. We also have an update from Uvalde County, where more than 24 people have been rescued from severe flooding, and more rescues are still underway.
News 4 San Antonio at noon. We're here for you.
It has been a day, so to speak. You are watching continuing coverage now of extreme weather in our area. We've had just about everything. We have had flooding, we have had rain, and for the first time in a long time that I can remember, we had a tornado touch down in San Antonio as well. So with that, we'll walk you through everything. We've got reporters scattered all over South Texas. We'll get to every one of them. Good morning, good afternoon, I should say. I'm David Chancellor.
And I'm Marisa Mendoza. We are also tracking severe flooding in Uvalde County right now. Jeanette, you've been looking at this all day, and clearly they're not out of the woods yet.
No, we're actually looking at the flooding risk in our viewing area through tomorrow evening. While some areas in Uvalde are seeing a little break from the rain, the flooding risk continues there. As I mentioned earlier, the more dangerous flooding is going on in Bernie, in southern Kendall County, even back across far eastern Bandera County. Between Lake Hills and Bernie is where the heaviest rain is right now. These training of storms have dumped several inches of rain, and that's why we are seeing the flooding. Let's not forget that here in San Antonio and Bexar County, there's also that flooding risk. We do have a flash flood warning for northwestern Bexar until 12:45, and the one that includes much of eastern Bexar and all of Guadalupe County that runs until 2 o'clock this afternoon. These storms are picking up speed. They're moving off towards the north. They're dumping moderate to heavy rain between Shirt, Cibolo, over towards Marion, Santa Clara, including New Braunfels. Timberwood Park, north of Scenic Oaks, up towards Bernie and back towards the Lake Hills. That is another area where I'm seeing very torrential rainfall. There is a little break from the heavy rain right now over northern Uvalde County. However, the flooding potential continues there. There is a flash flood warning until 2 o'clock this afternoon. 3 areas of concern at this noon hour. This is where the heaviest rainfall is. Again, between Lake Hills and Bernie, between St. Hedwig and New Braunfels, and between Gonzales and Luling. That is across the east. Showers and storms will continue on and off through today, tonight, including tomorrow. Flash flood warnings in the red. That's where flash flooding is happening right now.
Jeanette, thank you. Continuing coverage now on the severe weather across the area. News 4 San Antonio's Christina De Leon is live at the Oasis Apartments, where police briefly spotted a tornado. This was at UTSA Boulevard on the northwest side of town. Christina, what does everything look like right now?
Yeah, well, let me show you what it looks like from the outside of the Oasis, and then we'll get inside that apartment complex from the video that we got earlier. But look outside. Look at the damage from the outside. You can see the rooftop there just gone from part of that building, and then the side of building A. Now that it has been confirmed, you can see that major damage to the roof here at the Oasis Apartments. The wind just ripping the shingles off one of the buildings here and the side of another. Now we want to show you, take you inside the Oasis building apartments at UTSA Boulevard. When the tornado kind of came through the area, a battalion chief telling us that between 52 to 56 units were damaged by that tornado and the high winds that came through the area right before 8 a.m. The high-end apartments, the luxury apartments, occupied by UTSA students. Now, we also want to show you the back end of the apartments here, the twisted metal and debris that went flying out by the pool area. You can even see more damage to the apartments from the back. We spoke to students who live here and heard everything as it came through. They said they were sleeping, and here's what they told us.
Now I noticed the power was out, and then it just like really loud, and so I sleep next to my window, and like the building started shaking. So I looked out my window and I'm like, it's a bad thunderstorm. And then the tree just blew over and I saw stuff like flying into the pool and I was like, what is going on? And so
I see light a little bit, just a little bit of lightning. All of a sudden it goes dark, like something flew over. So something flew over, and I'm like, whoa, and the building started shaking everything. And then once I go check outside, the whole pool side, everything, the roofing was just all there. The trees were there, just broke it all down.
There. Now we're told firefighters now working with the Red Cross and UTSA, the campus, to find everyone who doesn't have a place to stay, a new home or a temporary shelter as the cleanup process gets underway here at the Oasis Apartments. But obviously you can see the destruction that was caused by the tornado that swept through this area early this morning. Reporting live outside the Oasis Apartments off UTSA Boulevard, I'm Christina De Leon. We will send it back to you.
All right, Christina, thank you. So the aftermath of what happened with the tornado this morning, this is the ongoing issue right now in the city of Boerne. David Mendoza is live there driving the streets. He's made its way from I-10 back into the city of Boerne, where the city is simply telling residents either shelter in place or evacuate. Is it lightening up, David, or is it getting worse? I can't tell.
You know, we've had some waves of rain go through. I mean, for the most part, it's still just as bad as it was last time we talked. Actually, something very interesting. For about a solid 30 seconds, I heard the town of Boerne activate their flood sirens. So we had those sirens going off out here, right where I was directly on a flooded over road. That was Blanco Road, north of downtown Boerne. I also did find the spot where all these paramedics and first responders are staging. We have a lot of different agencies here from all over Texas, Travis County, Gainesville, a lot of swift water teams on standby, ready to act. At the moment, though, I haven't actually seen any water rescues. Plenty of closed roads, plenty of heavy rain, and plenty of flooded over roadways right now. But as I continue through Boerne, I'm going to keep my eyes out here. All the first responders out here to my right staging, again, ready to act. It even looks like we have some possible Army vehicles over there as well on the opposite end of that parking lot. But I'm in downtown Boerne right now. I will let you know how the situation progresses and keep you up to date with what I can learn. Back to you, David.
Looks quiet in downtown Boerne.
It does. I think hopefully everybody's staying there. I think the truly, and I hesitate to use this word, but I'm going to anyway, the truly terrifying part about what's happening in Boerne right now is this message that the Director of Communications from the city of Boerne sent us, and that is detailing sort of water rescues, Herf Road, River Road, Main Street, all of those very difficult to pass. But it's the note at the bottom that got our attention, and that is simply this. Areas not prone to flooding will likely see flooding today. And that, if you have experienced and sat through so many thunderstorms, obviously in South Texas and Boerne over the years, you're thinking, well, we're pretty good. You know, we're up on a hill, or we're up, you know, our house is fine. We're going to be good. And, you know, let's roll some video here and take some pictures of what exactly is happening in that area. According to city officials, you're not. If you are living near a creek, that is an area that you do not want to be near. If you are an area that does not flood, you likely will flood today because of the rain that is persistent and ongoing. And the rain has been from yesterday too. So it's accumulating, and the problem is it has nowhere to go. It's not receding. It doesn't have enough time to recede. So with that said, let's head over to Uvalde County, where we find our Destiny Fuller, where she can give us an update on what's going on there. And they too have encouraged folks to shelter in place or evacuate. Good afternoon.
Hey. Hi, David and Marisa. I wish I had a better update to give you from when I talked to you a little bit this morning. We've been walking and moving around here at Leona Park in Uvalde. There will be no walking at this point. I'm going to show you why. A little bit earlier, when we finished after that press conference, just after 10 o'clock, this step was a step. It was fully visible. In the time that I have had time to talk to you guys, move around the park, this water has actually started rising. It's coming from the north and it's moving up quickly. We've had to move up a couple different times to get out of the way and make sure that we're not going to get swept up in this. Where I'm standing right now is supposed to be the Rotary Amphitheater. There's a green sign behind this tree just to our left that says that, and it shows how deep this water is. And you know what? This is an example of all of the water that we've seen just rushing further from the north. And we heard from the state representative Don McLaughlin earlier today in that informational press conference. He says that this is not going to be the end of what we see.
Right now, we had that storm setting north of us this morning, so the rivers and lakes are, the rivers and the creeks are going to be coming up, and they're going to be coming up again with a vengeance.
And a vengeance is a good way of putting that, I think. And it's just been an hour maybe that we've seen the water rise and rise again. I took a video just before we came on air. It was right around, 10:54-ish or so. And now here it is. And it's continuing. I'm watching it rise and fill up this grass as we stand here. As we all know, more rain is expected. I'm not sure what it's going to do to these water levels, but we do know that they were extremely high earlier today. So we'll have to keep an eye out. And people in the area, please pay attention to closures and every emergency alert that you get from the Uvalde Police Department and the Uvalde County Emergency Management Coordinators.
Destiny, before we let you go, I can't help but notice there's people around. There's either a woman or a girl off to your side. Are people sort of moving around out and about, or are these just other media members that are also doing what you're doing?
It's a combination of both. There are people out here who are just sitting by the water and watching what's happening. There's people that we've seen out here with drones taking pictures and videos for themselves. There are also people who are just in awe. They can't believe it. One man that we spoke to just before we came on air says he's lived in Uvalde for about 2 years, and in the time that he's lived here, he's never seen it look like this. He just had to come see it for himself. Now, Mike, would you show that little black box that's over there in the middle of the water? David, Marisa, and everyone at home, I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
That is supposed to be a fountain here at the park. It looks like a piece of debris just floating around, but to give you a scale of what's supposed to be there and that's almost completely covered by water, but that's supposed to be the park fountain. A lot of people are really just here to see for themselves.
So when you say park fountain, it's a fountain where water comes out, or it's a fountain that you drink out of?
A fountain that water comes out, a fixture.
Oh.
Yeah, we're talking about obviously some massive flooding there. It's great perspective. Are you at the amphitheater?
We're at the amphitheater that is in Leona Park. So it's all one big area. This is an area for the Rotary Club, and it's right here by the Civic Center. And this is just kind of everything that we've been seeing in this area. We
do want to underscore this before we let Destiny go. We are asking questions, trying to get a little perspective of what's happening. You see behind her, it's not raining currently, but as Destiny has said, and Jeanette has been talking about all morning long from a meteorological standpoint, more rain could be in the forecast. Don McLaughlin talked about conditions bad yesterday, could get worse tonight. So our thoughts are certainly with all those folks living in Uvalde, and certainly our crew there in Uvalde as well. Destiny, you and Mike be safe. We will go to you in just a few moments. Thank you. A wild ride for a trucker trapped by a fast-moving floodwater. 51-year-old Gabriel Pablo says that he was driving from Fresno, California to pick up a load when his big rig was swept away.
That was video he took after crawling onto the roof of his cab, and it's going viral. News 4 San Antonio's Darian Trotter talked to him, but first let's go to a press conference that the city of San Antonio is having right now.
City manager.
You got the right one? No.
So this is a press conference that the city of San Antonio is hosting. You can see it's going to be with the fire department. Let's take a listen.
All right, you guys ready? 30 seconds, okay. Everybody just wave when you're ready. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming this morning for an update on this morning's weather event. My name is Eric Walsh. I'm the city manager. Very grateful for the quick response of both the San Antonio Fire Department, the San Antonio Police Department, and Public Works and Solid Waste in terms of cleanup, and we'll give you all an update on all the activity this morning in terms of the operations and the response that is underway right now. We're going to start off with Chief Rosto to give you an update on what happened this morning and when it happened. We'll transition to Frank Almendarez from CPS Energy to give you an update from their perspective. Councilwoman Mesa Gonzalez is here to talk about update the public on if there are additional needs, where you go to get assistance. And then we'll wrap up with Chief Sean Bourne from UTSA to give you an update on UTSA and what they're doing with impacted students. So with that, I'll turn it over to Chief Rosto to provide the first update.
Good morning, everybody. Chief Rosto, San Antonio Fire Department. I wanted to give you an update after this morning's weather event. Early this morning, we did experience some severe weather, including a confirmed tornado that touched down or did some damage on the northwest side of town. At approximately just before 8 o'clock a.m., the San Antonio Fire Department responded to 6023 UTSA Boulevard at the Oasis Building A for a non-vehicle entrapment. That was due to reports that a roof had been torn off of a building. At this time, we have confirmed damage is limited to that one building. It's a large portion of the roof was torn off, and in total it affected 3 units on the 4th floor. We are grateful to report there are no injuries associated with that structure. Responders also investigated reports of possible entrapment at an apartment complex that is located at 5810 Worth Parkway. And that apartment building was actually under renovation. It had some scaffolding set up. So in either case, we conducted a thorough search, which was all clear, no injuries. There is damaged scaffolding and structural concerns which need to be evaluated to ensure everyone's safety. Additional damage has been reported throughout the affected area, including commercial properties at the rim and other nearby locations. Much of the damage consists of storefronts, roof damage, signage, a lot of debris, and downed trees. So public work crews and utility providers were working together, removing debris and addressing hazards throughout the affected area. Residents, we are encouraging you to use caution around fallen trees, down power lines, and as we continue our efforts to clean up. Although the immediate threat has passed, our crews will continue to monitor conditions. We are watching the weather very closely, and we encourage, again, you to stay away from damaged areas, use caution around any down power lines and unstable structures or objects, and report any emergencies to 911. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Frank Almendarez, Interim President and CEO for CPS Energy. We, as of a little while ago, had about 50 active outages with a total of 3,100 customers out, and that was about 11:40 a.m. So we're actively restoring power to those customers. And in the process of making those restorations, I want to note that safety remains our top priority for the entire community, including our crews. So high water in some places is reducing mobility, and in other places where there are circuits that need to be turned off for a period of time in order to work safely on those lines to restore customers, that is being done, and that is having the effect of temporarily putting additional customers out. So that process will continue. We'll work diligently. We don't see any limitations to our ability to make that happen in short order. I'll note also that out of an abundance of caution and given mobility issues across the city, we've closed our walk-in centers for the day. But as is always the case, customers should feel free to call 210-353-2222 for all of the things that they would have done had they wanted to go into the walk-in centers. Just as a safety reminder, never approach or drive over a downed power line. You can't tell by looking if it's alive or not, and it's a very, very dangerous situation. So if you come across a downed power line, please report that immediately to 210-353-HELP or 4357. Once again, 210-353-HELP, and we will address it. But please don't go near it. Don't drive over it. And as a general matter, avoid flooded roadways. Turn around. Don't drown. At peak, there were 18,000 customers out. Within an hour, that had been cut in half, and an hour after that, it was cut further in half. So there are lots of fast restoration in the early morning hours, primarily as a benefit of the resiliency equipment that we've installed over the last few years. And what remains now is impact damage, lightning damage, and other equipment damage that needs to be repaired. If you smell gas, now of course we're thinking and talking about electrical restoration, but infrastructure damage can occur to all kinds of infrastructure. So if you smell gas, the odor of rotten eggs, as with your down power lines, first get safe, get somewhere away from it, then call 911, and then call 210-353-HELP. Once again, 210-353-4375. So we remain obviously committed to restoring our customers as quickly and as safely as possible, and appreciate the opportunity to be here with you today. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ivelisse Mesa Gonzalez. I'm the council member for District 8. Many of our neighborhoods, including the areas around UTSA, the Rim, Camp Bullis, Crown Ridge, Hills and Dales, and the Dominion, experienced significant damage as a tornado and severe weather moved through our community. While the damage is substantial, our focus today is on our residents, supporting those affected and restoring services as quickly and safely as possible. I want to express my sincere gratitude to our firefighters, police officers, EMS personnel, Public Works crew, CPS Energy, SAWS, and our Office of Emergency Management, and every city employee who responded immediately and continues working around the clock to make sure our residents are safe. My office is working alongside our city management team, our emergency responders, to connect residents to available resources. And to our residents, I ask that you continue exercising caution. Please stay away from damaged areas, avoid down power lines, and follow guidance from local officials as crews continue their work. Your patience and cooperation will keep everyone safe. For those who do need help, please feel free to reach out to 311 if you have any downed trees, any damage assessment that you need, any cleanup in your neighborhood that you need. Remember, please call 311. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Stephanie Schoenborn. I am the Chief of Police for the UT San Antonio Police Department. As was mentioned, there was structural damage at the Oasis apartments where some of our students were impacted. It is our understanding that it's between 10 to 12 students that may be displaced by that disruption at the Oasis. I would like to say thank you to the San Antonio Police Department and the Fire Department for their very quick response and supporting the community, not only our students, but everybody that is located at the Oasis. We are working very closely with the Red Cross to support any type of, any of our community that is displaced. We are prepared to shelter anybody that needs it, working closely with the Red Cross on our campus and working closely also with San Antonio Police to do that. Operations are as normal at UTSA. Everything is operating and functioning normally. We do have some summer camps on campus, and those students that are involved in those summer camps are communicating with their families and are in touch, and everybody is safe on campus as well. So for UTSA, again, we are supporting our local partners, and I'm glad to answer any questions at the appropriate time, reference any other additional impacts to our campus. Thank you.
All right, so that's the update. Just to kind of recap some of the main points here. Obviously, we all just got notifications for additional weather alerts, so we are encouraging the public to continue to monitor the weather and be careful as they progress through the day. There will be additional weather that comes through San Antonio. Two, if you, as a resident, need assistance, whether it's a damage assessment or help clearing debris, please call 311. We have had Public Works crews, solid waste crews, and parks crews out there beginning early this morning to begin that cleanup, and that'll continue. So if you need assistance, please call 311, as the councilwoman mentioned. Third, I did want to also point out that we also have damage assessment teams from Development Services out and about, so they can also be accessed through 311. And then lastly, I just want to recap what all the speakers said. I want to thank the San Antonio Fire Department, the Police Department, CPS, Public Works, Solid Waste, and Parks crews and DSD, because as this event unfolded this morning, we got crews out there to begin cleanup and assessment and assistance right away. We have a lot of folks up here. They're willing to answer any questions, so I will turn it over to you all, and we'll try to answer any questions you might have. I think I can answer that. The surrounding areas that were all impacted. And so there's the National Weather Service will obviously need to do their review on the actual event, the weather event this morning. We've been in close coordination with them. But it's obvious that there was a wind event, and from the debris, the fire chief and I and the emergency management coordinator reviewed kind of the area this morning to assess that damage. And so it runs as south as De Zavala and Houseman, and then goes north up to the rim. And so any area that any resident that feels like they were impacted, please call 311 so we can provide that assistance.
What kind of assistance could they receive? Just like getting things
Clean up, yep.
And as far as the residents in the apartments that were displaced, and there are about a dozen or so students, is the university what does displacement really mean? And also, were there any residents outside of UTSA students who were affected?
So, do you want to answer that, Chief?
Sure.
Okay.
So I would. I can go up.
We're still assessing as far as who was impacted. I don't believe that everybody impacted were students. However, working with the Red Cross, everybody is going to be welcome on the campus just to support a safe place for them to stay. The university has resources. We have student assistance resources, whether it is an emergency loan or supporting with additional housing. Then we'll work with them specifically as well. But we'll have our space open as long as we need to support the Red Cross.
But those 10 to 12 were students specifically, and there might be more on top of that.
We still have to assess who's being displaced and if they're associated with the campus or not. But we're going to support through the shelter anybody that needs help. Sure.
I would like to add one item is at the affected apartment complex on UTSA, we have gathered people's belongings, put them in the center to cover with salvage covers to protect those belongings as much as possible. We do anticipate additional rain, throughout today and possibly the next several days. But just I wanted you to be aware that we're being proactive about that. We've also called out Development Services, who has been able to do a building assessment to assess for any structural instability.
What was the other address, the 5810?
All right, you've been watching a press conference from city officials, Fire, CPS Energy, UTSA Police, Eric Walsh, city manager. An interesting little note there. They are trying to protect the stuff, for lack of better words, belongings from the folks, 10 or 12 students who are now displaced. The roof's gone. That's important because there is more rain coming in, and I point that out because if you were watching, you heard everybody's alert go off.
So
what's happening?
The flash flood warning that was until 12:45 for Northwest Bear has now been extended until 2:45 this afternoon. The flooding that I was covering in southern Kendall County, eastern Bandera County with those slow-moving storms producing heavy rain, slowly drifting now into Northwest Bear. So those areas that saw the tornado earlier this morning, well, you are likely going to see some heavy rain momentarily. There are some pretty intense storms now moving into western and northwestern Bear. So again, there is a flash flood warning for northwestern Bear. There it is until 2:45. That tornado touched down near the rim, 1604 I-10. Heaviest rain is just to the west. However, you can see the orange and the pockets of red indicating some heavier rainfall, and that's now extending from northeastern Medina to northwestern Bear and still up across far southern portions of Kendall County. There are multiple flash flood warnings farther to the north and west. In Bernie, there goes a very heavy downpour. That's indicating rainfall rates over 2 inches per hour. So from downtown Bernie now, just to the west of Fair Oaks Ranch, there is some very heavy rainfall. There is a flash flood emergency for southern Kendall County. This includes Bernie, that until about 4 o'clock this afternoon. So a very dangerous situation expected not only in northwestern Bear, but ongoing over southern Kendall County. Also for eastern Bandera and northeastern Medina. We're seeing a break from the rain over eastern Bear County. However, there is a flash flood warning that continues there until 2 o'clock this afternoon. Storms with heavy rain over Guadalupe County. They're picking up speed. They're drifting to the north. This is from Marion, Geronimo, Seguin, over towards New Braunfels, including Canyon Lake and Spring Branch. But again, here is the concern for additional flooding with these heavy storms that are moving in from Kendall County and Bandera County. Helotes up towards Fair Oaks Ranch, Scenic Oaks, you are hearing the torrential rain. This is another round, and because of this, that flash flood warning has been extended. Over towards Gonzales County, also some storms there with heavy rainfall. To the west, there is a break for much of Uvalde County and into northwestern Medina County. There's some heavier rain that's now moving towards Uvalde. There's just a brief downpour that's approaching Uvalde. These flash flood warnings are in effect until 2 o'clock this afternoon. So where flooding is happening, that's where we're seeing these flash flood warnings. The flood watch means that flooding is possible, so we could see more flooding through tomorrow evening, and that's for San Antonio to the north and west. That's where those flood watches are in place. Now, in terms of any additional severe weather that could produce tornadoes, where we are looking at a level 1 out of 5 severe storm risk. So a marginal risk for severe storms that will still be capable of producing strong winds, maybe a brief tornado or two. The flood risk is highest, level 4 out of 4. For the west, Medina County, Uvalde County. There's a break right now, but I do expect more storms there later on tonight into tomorrow morning. So we'll still see quite a bit of rainfall here in San Antonio, at least for the next couple of hours, specifically northern and northwestern Bexar County. Rain chances then will drop off significantly later this afternoon after 4 p.m. I want to point out that the National Weather Service will be sending out a crew later this afternoon to assess the damage of that tornado that was confirmed on the northwest side of town. They're still actively monitoring the storms right now. So once these storms do go away, or the coverage at least decreases later this afternoon, they will be sending out a crew. That's when we'll get the exact classification of the tornado and the path that it carved. We are going to see much drier weather as we head on into the weekend, but for the rest of today, tonight, into the day tomorrow, make sure that you are weather aware. I do have a weather alert today for today into the day tomorrow. Here comes the drier and hotter weather this weekend through next week, guys.
All right, Jeanette, thank you. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come right back with more coverage, extended coverage of the tornado and the rain that is now falling in Kendall County. Stay with us right here on News 4. Welcome back. You are watching extended coverage of just severe weather that is blown through and torn through in many ways South Texas. This is Road Cam. This is David Mendoza live there in Kendall County. Conditions, David, what are they right now? It feels like they've gotten a little bit worse than the last time we talked to you.
Yeah, I would agree, David. We're seeing some waves of some absolutely ferocious rain out here. So I was just standing over there with my mobile camera off of Cibolo Creek and School Road. Now they have that road closed off, sort of separating Bernie into two halves. I was on the side of that closure, and I did witness a family of deer, a group of deer, including some fawns, leap into Cibolo Creek. They were swept away, taken under. I lost sight of them shortly after that. Cibolo Creek is really ferocious right now, I want to say. The fast-moving water, high-rising water, took them down into the trees. Like I said, lost sight of them. Couldn't believe I saw that. I saw them on the side of the river, or the creek, if you will, and they decided to go in, and unfortunately I do believe they have gone under. Right now where I'm at, though, I'm seeing more and more first responder vehicles show up to the staging post. Again, multiple divisions over here of Travis County and other counties, other surrounding counties coming out to help Bernie right now. At this point, I haven't witnessed any water rescues or anything of that nature. What I will say is that this rain is really intense, and that creek, Cibolo Creek, is fast moving and fast rising, and to shelter in place, heed the warnings of Kendall County sheriffs, and really shelter in place. I could show you right here. Here's another part of Cibolo Creek where they have the roads closed off. You can see that water has overtaken the bridge. Plenty of debris piling up on the bridge right now as the water makes its way through this roadway. Exercise the utmost caution, especially if you plan on leaving right now. I wouldn't suggest it. Just play it safe, be smart about it, and don't cross any high, fast-moving water. That is my best advice I can give you. Back to you in the studio.
David, I have to ask you this. So the video of the deer is, I mean, everybody in the studio here gasped. I don't think we were prepared for that. My question to you is this. You, over the last year, have been and covered some horrific weather events, obviously, here in South Texas. What is how would you compare what you are experiencing right now in Bernie to some of those? This looks to be very, very bad.
Look, this is definitely an intense storm. I can't really compare because I don't know of any loss of life at the moment. What I will say is that the creek is super intense right now. The rain is very, very intense. At times, again, I said it was coming in waves. At times it's hard to see 15 feet in front of you because of how intense the rain is coming down. So in terms of that, I haven't seen any loss of life or any water rescues. So I say it's definitely a life-threatening, potential life-threatening situation, and just be smart right now. If you're indoors, stay indoors. If you're on low ground, make it to high ground, because that creek is unforgiving, as we saw with those deer. Back to you.
It goes by so fast. That water is just rushing, and you can't do anything. Before we leave Bernie, we want to reiterate from the city of Bernie, their communications engagement person. Active water rescues going on right now. Worse flooding on Herf Road and River Road from Main Street all the way past Herf Road and River Road. It's all closed. The city of Bernie is saying the water will continue to rise, and urging anyone living near a creek, anywhere near there, to evacuate. And as you mentioned, and we've mentioned several times, areas not prone to flooding will likely see flooding today in Bernie. So please be safe. Please take precaution for you and your family. Seeing those deer, gosh, that broke my heart.
Yeah, same. I just wonder if we're at the point now where if you are somewhere, a business, a home, unless you are absolutely on a creek or at a creek bed, you need to stay there because there are so many areas where now you can't get out. And we saw that video of David half an hour ago. I hope you were able to saw it. Other than the deer, it was the most memorable video that we've seen so far, where he was going to go through that low water crossing and realized this is not safe, and he backed up and Took him about 10 minutes to find the way around, but that is exactly what you need to do. But at this point, it seems like so many roads are flooded out in Bernie. We're dealing with that, and now we're also dealing with a situation over in northwestern Bexar County. That storm system that has been over Kendall County, as Janetta said, is slowly making its way. It could probably blow through the area where the tornado tore through earlier this morning. So it's sort of a double whammy. Phil Sterling, News 4's Phil Sterling is live there at the rim. It's been there for a couple of hours. What do things look like now? The cleanup started a couple of hours ago. Phil, where are they in that process? And kind of set the stage for us here.
Yeah, I mean, in the process right now, everybody is really just cleaning up. Take a look behind me. Bluefin Sushi and Ramen, their exterior has been destroyed by the weather. I mean, their heating lamps, their shade, everything's really been kind of ripped up. You can see it put in this pile right here, and it even continues over onto this side. You can see that a trash can has been tipped over and some small trees here have been broken as well. Crews just came out here and they just caution taped this off about 3 minutes ago, about that time. And I mean, the destruction was pretty bad here on the exterior. We even found some baby birds on the ground. We managed to wrap them up in towels and hand them off safely to someone that's going to give them to animal care services. But this isn't actually the only place that's been affected. Here, if you look to my left over here at the Luxor, you can see actually there's some damage to their shade as well. This truck is in the way, but they did experience some damage on this side as well. And they're also putting up some caution tape over in that open area. But really it looks like this area around the Palladium took the most damage in select spots. And it was really in select spots that happened.
All right, Phil Sterling live there at the rim. A tornado touchdown earlier this morning. And we're waiting for businesses there to open.
And it looks like the rain that Jeanette's talking about that's moving from, is moving down towards our area, right?
Correct.
So you can see the rain coming down on
Phil, and just a heads up, just to tell you and your photographer there, the National Weather Service putting out, issuing an alert saying that, that could be a very dangerous situation, that area as well as the potential storms move in. So if you guys need to find shelter over the next hour or two, please do so. Phil Sterling live there at the rim where the cleanup continues after a tornado touchdown early this morning. Okay, Phil, thank you. Now we're going to move over to Christina De Leon. She is also in that area, although she's across I-10 at the Oasis Apartments where the tornado touched down this morning.
Yeah, Christina, what can you tell us?
Yeah, scary. Yeah, it was a scary sight for so many people. As we've confirmed, about 7:52, that tornado coming down. You can see the rooftop of the Oasis Apartments here off UTSA Boulevard. Look at the damage that tornado caused in that several stories high luxury apartment homes for these UTSA students. The major damage, you can see the wind just ripping those shingles off of one of the buildings and a half of a building here. And we want to show you, take you inside those apartments, the front of the building here at the Oasis. The battalion chief telling News 4 that between 52 to 56 units in all were damaged by the tornado, the high winds, the heavy damage. You can see the high-end luxury apartments occupied by mainly UTS students here. And also we can show the video of the back end of the apartments that we got, the twisted metal and debris that went flying out by the pool area. You can see even more damage by the apartments when it was all said and done. In fact, we spoke to students. There were UTSA football players who live here, and they heard everything go down as they were sleeping as that tornado came through. And here's what they told us.
Then I noticed the power was out, and then it just like really loud, and so I sleep next to my window, and like the building started shaking, so I looked out my window and I'm like, it's a bad thunderstorm, and then the tree just blew over, and I saw stuff like flying into the pool, and I was like, what is going on? So
a lot of damage.
I see light a little bit, just a little bit of lightning, and all of a sudden it goes dark, like something flew over. So something flew over, and I'm like, whoa, and the building started shaking everything, and then once I go check outside, the whole pool side, everything, the roofing was just all there, the trees were there, just broke it all down.
Yeah, what a mess. And we're told by firefighters they are working with the Red Cross and the UTSA campus to actually find some of these displaced students another place to live for the time being, because now is on to cleanup and to make sure that these buildings are somewhat structurally sound. We actually saw some of the folks with those hard hats going inside to make sure that they were safe and to cover things up with some tarps, because as you mentioned, another round of storms coming this way. We're seeing some more rain coming this way, and it's just going to be another round of rain. And for people who don't have a place to stay, they will need that here in the next few hours, another place to lay their head, because there's so much damage done to these apartments. Reporting live from UTSA Boulevard, I'm Christina Velion. We will send it back to you.
Christina, thank you. The good news is that UTSA, we came out of that press conference with the city, and UTSA officials said that they have some temporary shelter on campus, because the campus was untouched by the weather, the tornado, all good things. But the weather continues towards our area.
Yeah, so right on the northwest side where Christina is, light rain right now. However, not too far away, there is some heavier rain closing in, and this is going to cause more flooding issues. In fact, flash flood warning for northwestern Bear extended until 2:45. That heavy rain that I was tracking farther west into Bandera County, northeastern Medina, and southwestern Kendall, well, that is now moving off towards the east, getting into northwestern Bear. So that's where the more intense rainfall is, northwestern Bear, southern Kendall, now approaching far western Comal County. Our western areas where we saw a tremendous amount of rain yesterday and earlier this morning, catching a little break, mostly just some light rain, and that's really between Real County to Bandera County and Kerr County. In Uvalde right now, there is some light shower activity, but keep in mind these flash flood warnings are still in effect at least until 2 o'clock this afternoon. Those will most likely be extended. Want to point out that there is a flash flood emergency for western Medina County. This includes the city of Dehennis. Saco Creek there continues to rise rapidly, so there is a flash flood emergency. There's also a flash flood emergency for the Bernie area. Cibolo Creek also rising very fast. We've been seeing reports of multiple high water rescues there. Also, homes reporting high water inside of them, and that's again around Bernie. So this is northwestern Bear. That tornado confirmed just after 7:50 this morning near the rim, 1604 I-10 area. There is light rain there right now, but just to the west, to Scenic Oaks, Fair Oaks Ranch, just west of Cross Mountain, there is some heavier rain, and we will likely see some of that heavier rainfall moving towards northwestern San Antonio. So again, right over where that tornado hit earlier. So folks that are cleaning up the damage, the debris there, heads up, some heavier rain likely headed your way, I would say within the next 30 to 60 minutes. There is a flood warning, flash flood warning, that also is in effect until 2 for eastern Bear and Guadalupe. I'm not seeing any rain right now over eastern Bear, but still some heavy downpours from Comal County, from Guadalupe County up towards Comal County. So New Braunfels, Canyon Lake, you can see some heavier downpours there. Torrential rain now picking up with these that are moving into northern DeWitt County, eastern Gonzales County, and this is mostly to the south and west of Lavaca County, but we'll likely see some heavier storms towards Yoakum and Shiner. Here is live power Doppler radar to our west. Again, still seeing all of these flash flood warnings with a break from the widespread rain. The heavy stuff, again, is from western Bear to southern Kendall County. Multiple flash flood warnings in red, that's where we're seeing flooding. Meanwhile, there's a flood watch until tomorrow evening, because we could still see flooding in our area until then. There's a mid-level disturbance parked just west of I-35 that's interacting with all of this tropical air mass that is still in place, hence why we're seeing these showers and storms. And near that center of circulation is where there is the potential for severe storms that could produce a brief tornado or damaging winds. In fact, Storm Prediction Center now including areas a little farther east of I-35 in that level 1 out of 5 severe storm risk. Showers and storms until the middle of the afternoon, and then we should see the coverage of the rain decrease later this afternoon after 4 p.m. But more is on the way tonight into the day tomorrow. That's why I have another weather alert today for your Thursday. We'll be drier Friday into the weekend. Be extra careful, folks out there. Again, Bernie, northwestern Bexar, far northeastern Medina, including portions of Comal County. Some pretty heavy rain as we speak. I'll continue to monitor things. I'll send it to break, and we'll be back in a minute or two.
Kia